Hi, YouTube, vinyl community, audio enthusiasts, and folks stumbling across this video and my channel for the first time. I just wanted to do a quick and dirty video on my listening room and listening space, and maybe shatter a few myths about listening to music. Obviously, it's a very passionate and very zealous community, and there's just a lot of misconceptions out there about audio. And as I'm very fond of saying, folks, this ain't rocket science. You can do this, inexpensively, and you can end up with a very good sounding system. It really doesn't take a lot of brain power and a lot of money to put together a system like this. So, no matter what you show on here, someone's always going to say they've got better. But this system, for what it is, seems to work out pretty darn good for me. So I'll go through the components. This is probably my pride and joy. New addition to my kit. This is a Pioneer SX780 receiver, which I found at Goodwill for $14.99. It is immaculate. I kid you not. This receiver is absolutely immaculate. The only thing I did to it, I pulled out the stock LED bulbs, the stock filament bulbs, and replaced them with green LED cluster bulbs. And it seemed to give it some really good pop and some really good contrast. But you can see it has the old school VU meters, a separate tuning meter, and all analog dial and analog components. And I don't know what the wattage is on this. Probably 45 watts continuous. I'm not going to start a wattage war, but back then in the late 70s, these things were measured a lot different. This receiver absolutely thumps. The speakers you're listening to are KLH Model 6s. I'm guessing these are from the late 60s, early 70s, if I was to guess. They are amazing two-way acoustic speakers. I paid a whopping total of $4.99 for the pair. I got these at Salvation Army. All I did was reinforce the woofer surrounds. I used Flex Seal from Rust-Oleum, and their cloth surrounds. It worked perfectly. It worked absolutely perfectly to reseal those cloth surrounds and really bring the performance of the speakers back to life. I haven't recapped them yet. I know people love to throw capacitors and everything, but to my ears, they sound phenomenal. I refinished the wood cabinets with a couple of coats of Danish oil, and really seemed to do the trick. They're great speakers. Turntables. I did a pretty controversial turntable on this deck. It's a Audio-Technica AT-LP120 USB. It's not low end, it's not high end. I would say this was mid-fi. For what it is an amazing direct drive turntable. I've done a couple of things, put some foam hockey pucks, street hockey pucks underneath to give it some dampening and some shock absorption. Really seems to work nice. A couple of other little tricks that I show in my other video, but if you're thinking about getting into vinyl for the first time, I cannot recommend this deck enough. The turntable that you saw that had a fabric cover on it, this is the only audio component that I use from my college days, and this is a Technics automatic turntable system SLBD26. It was part of a rack system. I parted out the whole rack system and kept this turntable. Thankfully I saved it. Brought it back to life earlier this year, put a new belt in, did some cleaning and lubrication, put on a new cartridge. This is a Audio-Technica AT3482P. It's a conical. Conical styli work great for 45s. They also work great for vinyl that is scratchy. It seems to be less resonant. This particular cantilever on this cartridge is a carbon fiber design that also helps with what folks might think are scratchy records, and really seems to do a nice job. It is belt driven. Just very happy to still have this, and also working perfectly. Okay, my most recent deck, and the perfect match for error-wise to the SX780. This is a Pioneer PL516. Belt driven. It does have a stroboscope. I replaced the cartridge. Same cartridge that I have in my Audio-Technica deck. An AT95E, an elliptical budget audiophile cartridge. You don't have to go crazy with this stuff, honest to gosh. You know, to have great sound. This cost me, I think the cartridge was a whopping 39 bucks. I apologize for the mismatch here on the screws. I'm sure someone will point that out. I used what I had, and seems to work out pretty nicely. The plinth is pressed wood, and those of you into sound quality on turntables will know that a wooden plinth does an amazing job of resisting vibration. Just gives you a very warm sound. You can see I have the street hockey pucks. I've painted them black. They were like crazy orange and fluorescent green, but they're now black and matches the rest of the system. Some folks might bristle and think that this beautiful receiver is not vintage. There's actually debates on online forums. Some folks who consider receivers from the early 90s not vintage. It's pretty old. I think it's vintage enough. This is my Onkyo Integra TX-870, just back from service, and a couple of capacitors that needed replacing. And it is an amazing FM tuning receiver, and I actually use this as my preamp, and the reason being it has a Onkyo feature called selective tone control. Gives you a very warm, almost a tube-like sound. The tuner is so sensitive and so refined. I have a simple dipole up, and I was picking up stations. I'm in Massachusetts. I was picking up stations in Maine last night. So I kid you not, these Onkyo receivers, these vintage Onkyo receivers from the late 80s, early 90s, they are tanks. I probably could use this to power speakers, but I choose to use it as a preamp, and I'll show you why in this next clip. So this is the amplification of my more modern system. This is a Carver magnetic field power amplifier, model M500T. Uses old style, old school, beautiful analog VU meters. Has that almost a bridge design between the silver era and the black era, and it is just an absolute tank. 225 watts of continuous power, plenty of power for what I use it for. This is my Pioneer DSP-700D. In case I want to go digital, a Dolby ProLogic sound field processor, which I honestly don't use. And this is not a video, but that's my Philips DVD player, currently not in. Here come the Bose haters and maybe some of the Bose fanboys. This is what I use for my modern system. This is a pair of Bose AM5s. You can see one of the cubes on top of the KLH, and that's where I keep them. They're on rubber feet. I'm sorry, folks. I got these speakers, 2 pairs of AM5s for free. Maybe if I paid for them, I wouldn't be enthusiastic about them. I think they sound darn good. They're not that efficient. They might even be less efficient than the KLHs, and acoustic suspension speakers being known for not being terribly efficient. I actually think the Bose are less efficient. But for what they are, folks, they are amazing, amazing speakers. And, you know, I used to sell audio components in the late 80s, early 90s. I got these for free. And there's the Bose bass module up on top of the entertainment center, out of the way, almost hidden. And, you know, Bose... they're wizards of marketing, so we used to demo these things hiding the bass box and then watch folks gasping, thinking that, you know, oh, that resonance is coming out of those 2 little cubes. Well, you can hide these bass boxes. That's what I've done here. It's no longer a mystery. You know, these things have entered the mainstream, and this is a historic product. You know, we really wouldn't have these satellite cube and bass module configurations without the AM5s. And my second pair of AM5s, these are AM5 Series 2s. My B speakers on the Pioneer SX780. I don't think they sound any different than the original AM5s. You can see I have one of the tweeter arrays firing off the wall for the direct reflecting capabilities, and seems to work out pretty nice. It's just nice to have an alternative sound. And then I have my autographed cover of Brian Wilson's No Peer Pressure. Brian Wilson being my favorite musician in American music history, certainly a pioneer, and I just love the guy. He's quirky, he's eccentric, he's had demons, but he turned out okay. And, you know, you've got folks like Paul McCartney even singing his praises, and I just think the world of him. And that's it. That's my little system. I've got vinyl all over the place, as you can see. I think I'm up to now about 600 albums, and having some storage issues, but really a good problem to have when you've got this kind of sound, and hope you enjoyed this video. And oh, here's one more thing, not to sound like Steve Jobs, but you might have noticed no CD player wired up. I do have a CD player in the cabinet. I choose not to use it because I don't really want to handle digital media, and I just hate the noise and that plastic feel of CD caddies. So I'm actually, I stream all my CD music through the cloud, as well as my complete iTunes library through Apple TV, and seems to work out pretty nice. I can also, of course, listen to YouTube videos in stereo. So not a bad little ad. I know it's not vintage, but There's tons of vintage music running through this little box. And just an FYI, I think it's the third generation of Apple TV has a digital optical output. I'm using this little box that I got at Best Buy. It's a digital to analog converter, and can't use these with the new generation of Apple TV. They made it all HDMI. So if your plan is to stream music into your vintage or current stereo system, this is the way to go. And once again, I hope you enjoyed this video.